Lunchbox is brought to you by Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubvie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. This would be the pre-Thanksgiving edition from a place that we are most grateful for. Jeff Devo DeForest, Mike Lubitz, off to the sidelines. Jim Sarney, who is a contest winner, not officially affiliated with the program. We do call him our mascot and producer emeritus. Wicked Cheesesteaks. Defo, how are you?
I'm great, man. Fantastic. We always dig this. Louie and I were talking about it this morning. Used to count the days from about 60 out to the point where we had potential, for the most part, 4-day weekend. That's when we were getting up at 4 a.m. every day, but it'll be a real luxury. Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday. And could you have a more gorgeous day to kick it off and a better spot to sort of get the appetite a little bit wetted here? Would it be wetted or wet? It would be wet. At Wicked Cheesesteaks, where Brian, who knows what he's going to come up with here today.
No, he's got a great menu specials board up there, including a half-pound cheeseburger on a cheesesteak amoroso roll with that copper white American. And I was trying to entice Burger Beast to come up here. He's never been here, and he would not only dig the cheesesteaks and all the other kind of food, the wings, the Beast loves a good burger, and to see a burger like
this would be a feast
roll
for the Beast.
Yeah,
yes,
to be at Wicked Cheesesteaks.
So
no doubt. Has he never been here?
He has never been here, and I thought he was.
That's a disgrace. It really is. How could he not have made it?
I thought he was making a Broward journey today, and because he had a couple of places that he wanted to check out, and one of them being here. But then he said he had car trouble and he was going to be tied up in the mechanic, and those are words you never want to hear on the day before Thanksgiving.
That's rough. Yeah.
Also, things you never want to hear is, oh, the dealership has your money, which happened to me this morning.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to be in a good mood, and it's great. We've got the holidays, we've got families, reuniting, got college kids in town, my daughter. But I paid off a car recently, and I had one of the biggest, I guess, I don't know if it's a scam or not, where you get that gap insurance that if your car gets wrecked and you owe more than what the insurance company pays you.
Oh, I see
that gap insurance will cover the difference, right?
You get in an accident. Like if you actually don't get in that accident, then you pay gap insurance for no reason.
Well, it's one of those things like insurance. You pay it as a hedge just to see in case something bad happens. For this gap insurance that I paid for, it was my daughter's vehicle, but it's in my name. Get paid like $995. But when you pay off a car in full and there's no more, loan to finance, it makes no sense to have gap insurance because there is no difference.
So you're allowed to cash it in?
Yes. Well,
oh, wow.
I read the fine print, and the fine print said that I'm entitled to, you cancel it and you get a prorated refund.
So when are you going to get that?
$756.12 I'm owed. I went through the rigmarole with the insurance company. I sent in all the necessary paperwork, reams paperwork. And lo and behold, I call them to follow up, about 4 weeks after I sent it to them. They said, oh, we sent our portion to the dealer. You have to go to the dealer to get the whole balance. And I was like, was anybody going to tell me that?
Of course, the dealer called you right away. Yeah, it's kind of like when I was selling souvenirs as people were exiting Shea Stadium. I had to stand by one of the gates there, Gate D, I still remember it, and the people come pouring out, and you had to make the transactions very fast. And every now and then, a guy would pay, back then, like a 10 was a huge bill. A guy would pay with a 10 or a 20, and he'd have $4.50 and change coming back, and he'd already made his exit because his kids had run outside, and you'd say, sir, your change. Right. As like 50,000 people were exiting Shea Stadium. Awesome. But at least you made the effort to try and get it back to
I'm trying to get. So here's the thing. So the dealership, Hollywood Kia, and I'm not going to badmouth them yet. It's just a little,
You've had your problems with this joint, and your friend owns it. Right?
It used to be owned by Josh Levy, and the Levy
ever since
family,
you left, it isn't
but
the
they
same.
sold it for millions and millions of dollars to that big group.
He's
now,
the
this
mayor
big group, I'm
Hollywood.
going to say their customer service leaves a little be desired. disappointed
Wow.
because you would think that if I initiated this process and then the ball was in their court, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Yeah, good luck.
Now I've tried to call them. You can't get a human being on the
No,
phone.
no way.
No,
Except in the sales department. Then
No,
they'll
duh.
answer the phone. But I say, hey, I want to talk to financing. You get all these machines, and then like I call the customer service line. It goes to the GM, and of course I left a detailed message. And I'm gonna go down there and was it Maury in Goodfellas?
Yeah. Where's my money,
Where's
Jimmy?
my money?
Yeah, that worked out well for him.
I dealt with that organization. They actually took over the dealership where I used to bring my car for service. And I would have to say, unless it's mandated that I go to the dealership or whatever else I need with this vehicle, which is running pretty well, I will never go back there again. Because I found the treatment was just exceedingly indifferent.
Yes.
And they made me sit there for a couple of hours and for a minor thing, and then they tried to charge me 3 times what the repair was worth.
Now, depending on how this plays out, I'm finding some of this indifference.
It's a group out of Tampa, yeah.
Yeah, and this is what happens when things get swallowed up by big
Yes.
conglomerates instead of local
You're just
families.
a number, not a name.
And I wish that Hollywood Kia served food, because then I would go on Let's Eat South Florida and blast
Slam
them.
Well, you've done it anyway.
You still have done it, actually, right?
Well, it's
This is too big of a platform for you. You don't realize how powerful.
Oh
you are
yeah.
now,
Well, we'll see. Again,
You're making and breaking places in the restaurant industry, and now you're killing the car dealerships.
nobody's
also.
killing anybody. If anybody, they're killing themselves.
Pay
But
the man
nobody.
his money, as Defo.
No, very poor. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty patient with this sort of stuff. I realize that you roll into a place to get a repair done or have a question or something that needs to be changed, minor stuff. You might have to sit there for a little while, but I couldn't believe how indifferent they were. And then the solution was negative all the way around, and the pricing was absurd.
So we've learned our lessons,
Yes.
and that is, when the things get taken over, it doesn't always work out so nicely. But that's to be continued. Meanwhile, I wanted to be in a happy mood today.
You
and
should be.
I am.
mean,
We're
you
here.
sound happy. Yeah,
We're
Brian
in,
we're here
was
to
like-
support you.
Brian was like, he didn't give you the day off. I'm like, I mean, this is not a day off. Like, we're at Wicked. Like, whenever we're here, it feels like a party to me.
and I was thinking that Wicked Cheesesteaks right here on 4824 North Federal Highway, right across from Holy Cross Hospital, that he kind of maybe missed the marketing opportunity, because everybody in the world is talking about Wicked, but
The
not
movie.
the cheesesteaks, the
The
movie.
Yeah,
So
but I don't think you want to get sued.
oh
That's
yeah,
a pretty big monster.
Yeah, I guess they're already doing some
I
partnerships
would
with some
not
of the other.
mess with that.
You were pretty harsh on Anthony's Clam House for using the logo that made you think
Exactly.
it was Anthony Bruno. So I can't imagine even risking his loyal sponsorship
No.
you wouldn't destroy Brian for doing something
Well, he
similar.
came first before this movie, which
He did.
apparently everybody's going out to see, and I don't know if I have any interest in that. Lubvie,
It's
are
up
you?
to your, like, if your daughter or Val would want to go, then I can see you going. Like, I didn't see a lot of single guys there, and again, I'm not judging of them
You went?
if they
You s-
went. I went my wife. Yeah, she's
Right.
like a massive Wicked, like literally our whole relationship. She's like quoted lines from it, and I never understood what she was saying until we went and saw the play on Broadway when we were there. What was it, like October?
Mhm.
So then I sort of got it. Yeah, it's a great show. I wouldn't have just gone myself, like with my buddies. I'm not gonna lie, like it would have felt super out of place. But like, if Val wants to go, or your daughter wants to go while they're here, I could see you going. I
Is
think
this-
Sarni saw it.
Is it a musical? Are people singing? And they break
It's
it
like
out
a
to song?
combo. Like, it's definitely a musical. There's a lot of singing, but the singing, and it's why I'm okay with it. Like, the singing's placed well. There's actual dialogue, there's actual conversation, and then they sing a song that actually furthers the storyline. Like, that's my problem with musicals, where they're talking about their day, they have to go to work, then they sing about the birds, and then they go back to talking about what they're doing that weekend, and then like, what the hell was the point of that? Like, who just sings? That's freaking awkward to me.
I do that all the time.
That is true. You
Are
do
you a
just
fan
sing.
of musicals?
Musicals, I used to like musicals, but this reminds me of a time that I was at the Rio, and my wife at the time wanted to go see David Cassidy and Sheena Easton,
Oh, Jesus.
and I wanted to go see the Neville Brothers at another location. So I end up capitulating to her desires, trying to
Obviously.
or leave her the impression that I actually cared about what she wanted. We were newly married, and so we go to this thing, and then the most devastating part of it was as I was coming out, I see a bunch of my degenerate buddies, and they see me coming out. Now, granted, I was an attractive woman, so there would be an excuse there, but they looked at me like I was a real schmuck. And then they looked at the marquee and pointed and started laughing and said, "What the hell are you doing at a David Cassidy Sheena Easton concert?" My baby takes the morning train. Everything I sing is pretty lame. It was ugly. So, I mean, that's the way I would look at maybe Wicked. Sarnie, as a man enough, he doesn't worry about his public
He
image.
doesn't give a crap.
He'll go there by himself and not be worried about being seen coming out. Lubvie was with company that he could justify it, but I don't know if I'm going there by myself.
And it's based on The Wizard of Oz. It's like an adaptation. What's the whole premise of the thing? Because I've never saw the show.
Ann just asked this, and Annette, I'm sorry, Ms. Annette just asked this. I'm not going to give it away.
Look at this guy.
It's somewhat of a
Brian.
prequel /
Brian
it
in the
syncs
Hizzle.
up with The Wizard of Oz. It explains the Wicked Witch of the West actual background.
Because I remember a Broadway musical when I was growing up called The Wiz, which was kind of like a contemporary urban, I guess you'd say.
I thought it was
black.
about,
it was a black
Yeah, it was
version
more urban.
of the.
I thought it was about
of
Geno's
Wizard of Oz.
in Philadelphia.
The Wiz, yeah,
The Wiz would
yeah.
all-
Here we go.
all be
We're,
food related.
now that we've tied it all back to
Yeah.
Wicked Cheesesteaks with
Well, what do
The
you have in
Wiz.
front of you there, Mike?
Well,
enough of these show tunes.
we started off very modestly with
Yeah.
the 12-inch because they have the big large pie, but as a little appetizer,
That looks
chicken
good.
Parmesan pizza
Oh,
here.
sweet! All right.
And look at this nice. I love the edges. You got the little air bubbles. You got the little kind of edges that are charred, not burnt, charred.
Underrated the pizza here because Brian told us a story. He bought the pizza oven, the actual pizza oven, and you would not anticipate that you were going to get this quality of pizza in a place that was essentially centering its business around cheesesteak sandwiches. So they do a great job. I mean, you're thinking you're going to get something like you get at at the Pomp there. It used to be the Isle, which might be the worst pizza I've ever tasted. And instead, you're
Chuck E.
getting like
Cheese.
these gourmet pies as if you were at a really fancy schmancy pizza place.
Worst pizza ever is Elio's frozen in the box.
That's rough.
Second is at any basically
Chuck E. Cheese is rough. Chuck E. Cheese is.
sports
Cheese is
venue,
pretty bad.
where they just serve it in the box and it's just
Horrendous, yes.
floppy.
Although the old pizzas that they used to have those round pizzas, and you don't see them as much anymore. They were a frozen variety, but they served them at going back to my days again at Shea.
Oh,
And those were decent pizzas for stuff that wasn't actually made in any kind of, you'll hate this word, authentic fashion.
No, but I like that Shea pizza too because
It was good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like 30 cents too. It was a nickel more than the hot dog.
those were the days.
Yeah.
So we've got our pizza, and
let me
we were
give a
talking
piece to
about
Sonny
the
here, man. He's
Wiz and
salivating,
Wicked,
yeah.
and
Go ahead
I
and
don't
use
know
some
if I'm going to
force
be
there,
doing
brother.
any.
Oh, that didn't
Oh
work.
no, that one didn't work. Let's
Yeah.
get you another slice. We got
No, this is for Jim.
Oh, there we go. That's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sarnie. We got.
He won't
Sarnie
mind
here.
if you're sliming a little bit.
But we've got
So
the
Sarnie's
holiday
he's
weekend
not that
upon
picky.
us, and usually this is the time of the year where we sit back, we take stock, and we start listing the things that we're grateful for. I know that I am grateful for all our wonderful sponsors who stick with
Yes,
us through
yes.
thick and thin. We've got almost 20 of them now, and that's kind of an impressive feat. And I am very, very thankful for Brian and his wife Sonata here at Wicked Cheesesteaks because they are masters of comfort food.
Yes,
whether
that's
it's-
actually a great way to describe it because people just think of them as cheesesteaks or lobster rolls. And we've learned that they do everything and they do everything at a really high level. And that's
Making
the thing you would think
Italian
about.
food now. He's got all kinds of stuff, and he's always experimenting with new things, which is great.
lobster rolls, and that's the title of this store comes from Wicked because up in New England everybody says it's wicked good, wicked smart, and Brian originally from Maine and the whole New England area, and so he
Among the
makes
best deal in
lobster.
town, also on a lobster roll. I think he was charging under $20,
Yep,
which
yep.
That's hard to find.
I'm not sure what the pricing is now because again, MP for your lobsters, that's what makes it an item that
Well, with
it
the new
fluctuates.
tariff, as interstate items are going to be tariffed heavily.
No. Well, no,
stuff coming from Maine is probably going to have like a
But you bring up a
20%
good
tariff on
you
it.
bring up a good point though. The ways that new policies under the next administration could actually be felt in the pockets of Americans. Many of the lobsters that are consumed here in the United States are from Nova Scotia, which my
Oh,
map
there you
tells
go.
me is Canadian. And a lot of times the Maine and New Hampshire waters run a little bit drier in terms of the lobster yields. So a lot of the lobsters come from Nova Scotia. And if you start slapping on a 25% tariff on something that wholesale is going for $8.99 a pound, well, you can do the math, and it's going to go up. And then operators here, if they can't find the Maine lobsters, like the Maine lobsters,
It's about $2.75 extra.
yeah. So we'll see.
Per pound.
Per pound. It's going to be that. That's the stuff that people may not realize.
What's your ideal size lobster? You're going out for lobster. I know we have the great deal going with the 2-for-1, or basically a twin lobster special. Tropical Acres. Other places have some deals like
that's
that.
over.
But it's mostly on the 1 pound, pound and a quarter.
Mhm.
And I think you're kind of. I mean, I know Tropical Acres probably has the bigger ones, but what's your favorite size? I mean, if you're ordering a lobster in a restaurant and it's priced by the pound, what are you getting?
2 pounds.
Yeah, that's
dose,
what Brian,
okay.
my friend Brian always says. That
2
too.
to 2.25.
Yeah, he
Right.
says 2 is like
It's,
the wheelhouse
not
number.
too small, not too big. It's just right. But
Would you go
I don't-
5? Would you go for a 5
no,
pounder?
no. Once you get about it, it's like stone crabs. It's just it's just meant to impress people, like people who are all like status conscious and stuff like that. But in terms of flavor and the amount of food that one human being needs to eat in a sitting, and listening to me tell you this,
Look at this guy, man. He's bringing all kinds of stuff here. What is
But
that?
if you get a 5-pound lobster, it's just they're
Well, if you're
older
sharing it,
and they're
I would
tougher.
think.
Oh, look at that! He's
Yeah.
got the cheeseburger. He made this in an actual cheeseburger form on a Kaiser roll. Looks good. Gonna have to send the
Yeah, it's a
picture of that to the
burger.
Beast. And by the way, Beast says he's been instructed by his mechanic not to drive his car too far from his Miami digs. He takes advice
That's
from
never a good sign.
his no. He takes advice from his
That's a
mechanic,
warning light.
like I take it from
Yeah.
my cardiologist. But so he's not going to be making it today, but that's okay
Yeah,
because
more
we're
food
here.
for us.
And tomorrow we're going to be feasting. And what's your plans? You going to your sons again, right? Or Jesse, the immortal Jesse, has the family.
That would be the plan, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. They do a
And
whole thing. They do a great job.
who does the cooking there?
Depends. I'm not sure what it's going to be this year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah.
we've got all
Jess
kinds.
Man has done it
Oh, nice.
with his wife. My mother-in-law. Oh, not mother-in-law. What would it be? His mother-in-law.
His mother-in-law.
Yeah,
the-
would also does a great job. Susan, she's tremendous, and we've had him catered also. Well, where I think a couple of years ago, might have been last year, he actually got a pretty good deal. I know we have people that are doing catering, but in this case, he had ordered a bunch of stuff, a smoked turkey from Whole Foods, which surprisingly it was not so outrageously priced that it was prohibitive, and it came with all the sides. And as I recall, it was a very successful presentation all the way around.
Well, I'm going to be hitting all the different angles tomorrow.
How many restaurants are you
I'm
going to
doing the triple Lindy tomorrow. It's going to be only one restaurant. I think I'm going to start the day off at
You are going to a restaurant.
10 Palms
You are.
by myself before I head down to Val's family out down in Coconut Grove. And
What do you
then-
got a horse you're going to bet?
What's going on?
well, let me tell you, because
actually
they're having
intrigued.
that great, Thanksgiving buffet and coinciding with opening day of the Champions Meet starting at 11 a.m. And you know who wanted to go because for the first time in like forever, he's not going to be with family up in Ohio. And I told him about the Gulfstream thing. Brad from Even Keel
Oh,
Fish Shack.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
nice. All right.
Brad and I think one of his relatives who's going to be in town are going to go out to 10 Palms. I got him set up with Joe Beja. Going to take good care of him. He says he's got a good table for him.
Nice.
And I figure I'm going to stop off there and maybe bet the early double and have a little drink with
Stay away
Brad.
from the buffet line. No.
And no, I'm not
'Cause
eating.
you're going to
How
eat at
can you
least
eat?
2 Thanksgiving
Right,
dinners,
I'm not
know.
eating. I already told Joe I'm just going to stop by and have a little cocktail. But Brad,
Will
is
you
gonna-
look at the buffet line?
Oh, of course, I'll look at it.
As an observer, okay.
In your past, were you the I'm not eating the buffet, but I'll sneak something off the buffet person? I don't see you doing it at Gulfstream, obviously. We love Gulfstream, but in your life, has this been a move of yours?
sneaking up to the buffet that I hadn't like paid
Like,
for. That
have
I'm
you
not-
ever done that? Like you've walked through like a casino or something, and you're not
Oh,
eating
absolutely.
the buffet,
What are you talking about?
but the buffet's there, and there's no one around. So you're like, oh, let me grab a shrimp, let me grab a cookie, let me grab a piece of bread or something.
not at a buffet like
Because I didn't even ask
at a
Defo because I know for sure
casino
both of us have done it. So I'm
I
curious. Sometimes
have
you have manners that we don't, maybe,
done
but
at
you also have worse manners at times. So
at hotels that let's say they have corporate functions, and you're in that long hallway with all the ballrooms, and then sometimes they have a whole bunch of food set up
Just sitting there,
outside there, like after they get through with their little presentation. Yes, I've definitely swooped in there and snagged coffee, donuts, sandwiches, and whatever else.
Who hasn't? The best. I still have
I
a
was gonna
vision of
say
this when
Radio Row.
Lubvie
I took a whole
at a
setup.
Radio Row in San Francisco took the entire breakfast cart from CBS. They had a staff of over 100 people there that they were trying to feed, and Louis brings the whole cart over to our little position,
We were there all day.
and he goes, "This looks good." And I'm like, "Where did you get that, Louis?" And then I saw 6 angry people chasing him as he was wheeling this thing through the convention center.
They
It was
don't give
great.
you food.
It's part of our DNA as sports journalists to just swoop in on anything
Survival.
that looks like
You have to grab something.
available
Survival.
and free. Meanwhile, it's funny because we came in and Brian said, "Oh, it's going to be a quiet day," and we kind of
Of course, right
grouped
when
a
we get
couple of
set up.
tables, and now it's like they're just
Gets
pouring
jammed.
in off the streets. And by the way, the traffic is heavy around town today. The
100%. There's stuff
arteries,
going on.
the roads are clogged like my arteries. Just getting up here from downtown took a little bit longer, and they're finding their way in here to Wicked Cheesesteaks. It's good to see people setting up and getting their sandwiches,
holiday
and I'm
vibes.
going to dig in on the
The
hamburger.
pizza's
in a second.
fantastic, by the way.
Pizza
Very,
is
very
We've
nice,
had it
yeah.
before, but it feels like it's even. I think. Remember, we've talked about this where he used to do almost not thick, but thicker, and I think he's getting it more and more New York style, where it's thinner, which I enjoy a lot more because it doesn't absorb the toppings. I don't know. I really enjoyed the pizza. Oof.
I complimented him because on the way in, I saw 2 pies pulled fresh from the oven, big, large ones. And I said, "Wow, your pizza game is really getting."
Yeah, was like a
on
side
point.
thing, like Defo was saying.
Mm.
He's actually it's one of the better pizza. I would come in here and just get pizza, and I wouldn't think
If it was
twice about
just a pizza place and this was the pizza that you had, you would say it's a favorable place.
100%.
No doubt.
Place. It's Lunchbox approved.
Yep.
Come on in. They're open every day except Tuesdays. I
Yes.
believe there's
Someone.
still
It's
off
funny.
Tuesday.
Someone came in and was like, "You guys were closed." He's like, "We're closed on
It
Tuesdays."
says so
It
right
says
on the
it there.
door. Yeah. Brian does need 1 day off a week to kind of recover, and I know it's getting into peak season. It's good to see people streaming
it.
back in here. I don't know if Messi has been around since the what is it? The
Ignominious.
He went back
inglorious.
to Argentina. Yeah. Sonny's very upset
Where
about
he
that.
actually wins.
It's the biggest flop in playoff history of the
You would think.
I suggest
MLS.
Yes.
The Inter
Of
Miami
any
squad.
sport ever in
I mean, that's a
Miami.
joke. It's like LeBron going and playing in the G League playoffs and losing in the first round.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, so he does live nearby here up in Fort Lauderdale, and he has been known
frequents
to
it
stop
often.
in and pick up some of the wings here. But we don't know his winter plans. But if you stop in here, you might see a international sports celebrity,
It happens.
and you'll definitely see some great cheesesteaks and other things.
Don't
coming
sleep on the seasoned French fries.
up.
Also,
No,
And the fries are
that's
great.
good.
very
He's
good
using the thick,
component. Yeah.
these are very
And
nice.
and lobster, he did say so. The roll right now is going for $24. He said he had
24.
to bring it up because, like Devo's favorite, one of his favorite
MP.
combinations, market price. The lobster mac and cheese on the menu literally says MKT.
Right.
I mean, no. Supposedly they've raised lobster
There
like a
are
lot.
variables, but it is a good one, and it is stuff.
No,
with
it's a
fresh.
nice.
At 24, I'm sure
That's
it's
still
still among the
afford-
lower
yeah.
prices.
And
Yeah.
the thing that he does here, because they stand for quality here.
He does real
You know,
stuff.
you get the real ribeye, fresh,
Yep.
never frozen, and they shave it and use
Yep.
that for their cheesesteaks. And for the lobster, it's not like he's using frozen product that comes in these cryovac pouches. He actually goes out,
Does it
gets
here.
whole lobsters, steams them off, and then breaks the shells, and then gets the sweet meat and chops it up and puts a little bit of mayonnaise in it because he serves it Maine style
Yeah,
here.
it's cold.
And it's a good lobster roll. He's got everything good here. I'm going to dig into this burger
You need to get going with that.
while we
I'll
take
go
our
grab
first
ketchup and
break.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to send a picture to Burger Beast. Then I realized that it has lettuce on it. And if you want to trigger Seth immediately, just put lettuce on his burger. He goes into
like that.
conniptions, but I will pick one up here and get this going. I guess we should also talk about our friends at Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine
There you
Festival.
go.
I went out to dinner last night with Phil and Kate.
Oh, I love it.
We checked out one of Fort Lauderdale's premier new restaurants, the Daniel's Florida Steakhouse. We had an excellent meal there. The four of us, Kate and Phil, and me and Val as well. And we had a beautiful evening. And Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is all about many beautiful evenings. It's going to be taking place from January 13th to the 19th, right after the holidays. It starts off with all these kind of great intimate dinners around town at some of the best restaurants in town, like the Catherine and Heritage and Evelyn's and et cetera, et cetera. There's also going to be a sushi night, and that's at S3.
Oh, nice.
And that we're going to be doing a little episode in advance of the festival next week with the new sushi chef for the restaurant people at S3. His name is Ped.
Nice.
And we're going to have a little sushi demonstration. That'll be next Tuesday in advance of one of the big festival dinners. And then they've got the 5 signature events. For those 5 events, if you use the promo code Lunchbox, you'll get an extra 15% off the already low price. For the cocktail competition Wednesday, the Asian theme walk and roll Thursday, the barbecue battle Friday, the grand tasting Saturday, and the new brunch event, ticketed brunch event on Sunday morning. That's in addition to the family day later in the day, a free family event. Go online to vlfoodwine.com for all the information and to get your tickets. vlfoodwine.com. Use the promo code Lunchbox for additional savings. Let's take the first break.
Yes, sir.
And I will take my first bite of this burger right now as we go to break.
No ketchup?
On the Lunchbox. I'll get a little dry first.
Some Wicked Cheesesteaks after this.
Freshest Fish Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox pre-Thanksgiving edition or Thanksgiving Eve edition, whichever one you prefer, from Wicked Cheesesteaks. And boy, are we having a feast before the feast tomorrow. It's
a lot of stuff. It looked like Lubvie brought a sandwich in from another place, but
he had it all
came in
wrapped
a
up.
bag wrapped up, and it looks absolutely divine, this
And
cheesesteak
now
sandwich.
you see the massive forearms of one Mike Lubitz slicing the cheesesteaks into appropriate.
Well, he wants to get to it before you get to it.
Well,
It's just-
I insist I will not be doing any big bites today, although they are cut into nice bite-sized portions.
looks
for me.
like Lubvie was planning otherwise.
You do what you want. I just want
Yeah.
if Defo wants to buy it or
It's
if I
got
want to buy it, I wanna make
diabolical
sure what to do.
plans. Look at that, beautiful.
It's
Right.
nice.
Are you an end cut guy when something like this comes up?
If it's a
Or are
big
you
bite,
grabbing that
it's
piece in the
much
middle?
easier
Yeah.
to do a big bite with an end cut than
The
middle.
steam coming off that
The
man.
middle
You
is
should get
gets a
involved right
little
away.
bit. And I don't know how you dress up your cheesesteaks. I see that.
I like the whiz. I don't
Lubie
know.
got
I
the
know the
whiz.
whiz is
It's just-
garbage cheese. I get it, but I do like the whiz. I just do.
Cheese coming out of a can is like pork
It's not cheese. I get it.
coming off of a McRib. You know, it's just it's
Well,
not an actual substance known to the animal
we
kingdom
did
or
that this week
nature.
already. So there you
Yeah,
go.
we already did that. Thank goodness. All right, I'm going to take the end cut.
There you go.
We'll get in there. When it comes to burgers, I like ketchup on my burgers. Although this burger, I was eating it during the break. That again, the Copper White American is it Cooper White or Copper White?
Cooper.
Cooper White.
It's Cooper White.
It's so it gives it so much flavor. It almost obviates the need for ketchup. Obviates
It's a
is a good
different
SAT word, but
You would have used it, except you couldn't find it. That was the
Some
problem.
beef.
It wasn't on the table. Oh, me? Okay.
I.
I'll go middle.
Go for the middle.
But when it comes to cheesesteaks,
Watch it.
dangling.
There you
Almost we had a
Dangling participle.
dangling participle, dangling cheesesteak
Yeah.
accident. No, when it comes to cheesesteaks, I just love loading it up with hot sauce. You know, like
I'm
little
a hot sauce guy. Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah,
branch it out.
that's okay. You don't have to flee immediately. I
It's
love
okay. No,
Lubie.
he likes to take care of everybody.
Not only the
That's why he
producer
is.
of our dreams with the technology, but he's off running around.
Oh, no,
I would recommend
very
him
accommodating.
to any restaurant general manager looking for a floor person because
No,
Lubie is
I have my hands
attentive.
full. I have my hands full. This is enough.
it's all good. And meanwhile, we also have the decorative salad. Again, for decoration.
Decoration purposes only.
I'm
Greek
interested in the
salad.
salad. Yeah,
I know you're always
Defo
interested.
can
always
have the
interested in the
salad, yeah.
salad.
I always say I'm interested in it, and then
Then we give it a Defo.
You have no
Here,
interest in the
Devo.
salad.
and this was a true story. Last night at the at Daniel's, we ordered a whole bunch of stuff off the menu because that's how we roll. And Phil and Kate also they're like me. They like to go to a place and kind of sample a lot of everything, and everybody eats family style. But we did. Get one salad, a wedge salad with blue cheese and candied bacon that we had there. Kate likes her salads, and so does
Valley's.
Val. We chopped it up, beautiful wedge. We actually had the server come over and portion it out because these big wedge salads could get a
Stuff to
little
eat, yeah.
unwieldy.
It's always sloppier on a first date. You ordered a wedge
Yeah.
salad, and then you take the first piece, and the salad flies in your face.
Yeah.
And you're dripping in blue cheese,
Yeah.
right after that. And she's
Yeah.
looking at you like you're a clown. It can be awkward.
But it was a big salad, and a lot of us left lettuce on our plate. And I said, yes, this is a very wise move because, when you come to a restaurant and are eating a lot of different dishes, you don't want to waste your calories on the salad. So that's
This is an amazing blend here with the cheese and the meat and the mushrooms.
I see
not
you're
the
going
mushrooms,
low
the onions.
carb. Are you on one of those?
Try
Four-letter word
not
diets?
to. No, I'm not going to declare that. I mean, I
He's not Mayo.
spent 2 years wrestling with that one here on the
Keto.
show. No, I mean, I'm going to try and go low key. I haven't got my walk in yet. I had to do a bunch of stuff this morning. So, just taking it easy
Take it
until we
easy
get to it.
before
Yeah.
the calories
Exactly,
get
and we have the next
expended.
two- at
That's
least 2
always
days.
wise.
He's very
I will,
smart. Good for him.
but it is a good interior. Again, uses the chopped
Real
shaved
prime rib.
ribeye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real ribeye.
Literally, if you had no bread with the thing and you just got the stuff that he puts inside of a cheesesteak sandwich, it would be a divine meal in and of itself.
It's good stuff here. We
Yeah.
got all the basics: the pizza, the cheesesteaks.
I mean, this people always compare. I guess Philadelphia would be the standard, but I can't imagine. And I've been to Philadelphia, and I've gone to good places there that were highly recommended by the local people, as good as any. I mean, all of the raves they get on Let's Eat South Florida, I think, are very appropriate.
Well,
This
put it
isn't
this
something
way.
where you got people shilling and sending in favorable reviews. Everybody loves this
Well,
place.
put it this way, and because he's going to be my, I don't know about fill-in. He's an upgrade over me. So I don't know what. So the person who is in
On
your stead
Friday's
is
show.
better than you. I don't. I feel the word fill-in is sort of undermining him, but. I'm gonna stop by Ken's after this because I want to give him the equipment instead of on my way up to Orlando. And I just threw in. I'm at Wicked. I didn't think anything of it because again, he's always had his jabs because it is a New England style place. But then he came here with us, did a show here, and that changed his opinion. Before I could finish, he's like, "Oh, by the way, you know, I wouldn't mind a cheesesteak." I was like, "That's like the biggest compliment
Right.
ever."
Yeah.
To have Ken want your food, like he's a
a
gourmet.
restaurateur and a good eater, and he doesn't just put anything into.
And I
that
said,
mouth of
"What do you
his.
want?" I thought he might want a fancy one. He's like, "No, just a regular cheesesteak." Brian does a great job. I'm like, "There you go."
There you go. There you
The
have it.
professor happens to also be
He's a
so
gourmet.
he
now.
knows his stuff. He would make things that were just mind-bogglingly,
Yes.
intricate compared to
Yep.
the
Cuisine.
standard thing that somebody would bring to your house.
We're gonna have to
And
get
he
him.
was always great.
Get him involved in some of the Visit Lauderdale Food Fest, maybe to come out to
Honestly.
the barbecue competition.
Oh, he would
and
love
No,
that.
he's
help
great at
me
barbecuing.
with the
He
judging
smokes, he does-
duties
Oh
because
no,
I do
he would be a
respect
great judge.
Ken's palate, and yeah, no, that's I love Ken. I also love the burger at the Foundry, which is his restaurant. I know that's also a popular place during the holiday season.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lively weekend everywhere, and I don't even know. I'm just taking it one day at a time. And in terms of, I don't even have any plans for Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. And, well, Sunday we do have plans because we're going to do a show at our new sponsor up in Boca Raton, Taverna Kima. They're doing the first of their monthly lamb roast, like a whole lamb on a spit, and then they're going to be carving it up and serving it, and that's going to be this Sunday.
Is that what time is that? Is that just a
I
regular
think
time?
she says it's starting at like noon. I think we're going to crank up and do a little, maybe mini live stream show that day with Sophia.
No, it's fine. I'm just
And
curious.
I
looking
think we're
forward to
going to do it at 1:00. But I think the festivities up there get rolling about 12 or maybe even 11.
and it's
I'll
the first
find out.
Sunday of every.
Now starting this Sunday, the first Sunday of every month up there at Taverna
That's great.
Kima on North Federal Highway. So yes, I do have some plans already for the weekend. And shockingly enough, it revolves around food.
So it seems to be a little obsession there.
Yeah.
That's a trend.
Oh, and I didn't even finish my triple Lindy tomorrow. Going to start off not eating, but just kind of soaking in the vibe.
You're going to graze a little bit on the 10 Palms buffet.
10 Palms buffet with our man Joe Beja, and visiting guest Brad Phillips will be enjoying the day out there. Then I'm going to go down to Coconut Grove to Val's family for Turkey Day feast number 1. Then head up to Hollywood to my daughter and Michelle, ex-wife. Those
And
turkey
Val-
dinner number 2 will be about 5 p.m.
and
appetizers,
Val,
6
because
p.m.
last year that was the big debate: is where do we go? What do we do now? You guys live together. You have a
I
nice,
do both.
So does
Val
Val go
has
with
a
you?
big, large extended family.
Oh,
Some
so
of
she
whom
can't
are
just stay for
traveling
people.
from France, and then it's also her other brother's birthday. She's going to stay down there.
But it's understood. You're going with your
yeah,
daughter.
and she
your mom.
understands that I have other. There's
There's a higher.
I-
There's a,
I contain multitudes, and sometimes I wish that I could clone myself, like Lenore Gilbert wanted to be cloned last week. It's going to be
Yeah.
I don't know what's the over under on me, like either passing out or having some sort of I don't
Because
know,
you have to drive from southern Miami,
gastrointestinal,
right?
What you really need, Michael, is an intervention. I believe this.
Let's start that June 1st.
I was thinking
January
about that
1st,
on the
I'm
walk of
sorry.
life the other day. I was, sort of a little bit sore, and I thought, well, it's a good thing I'm doing
No.
this. And I thought, Mayo should really be, tracking in right behind me on this thing.
All right, two things. Most people go on their newfangled resolutions January 1st. For me, because of the food festival,
we have to do the food
January
festival.
19th will be the day that I turn over a new leaf.
All right.
And one thing that, I took a couple
What kind of
walks.
new leaf are we talking
We're
about?
talking about maybe an injectable leaf because I was on
I
a
think
walk
that's
of
part of the
life
problem, too.
with my daughter. No, not that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the miracles of modern medicine. My daughter, when I walking with her the other day, says, "Dad, maybe it's time you check out Ozempic."
Ozempic, yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. That's a big issue right now.
Because she said I was doing so well, like over the summer, and now she hadn't seen me in a couple of months.
Oh, your
and,
daughter noticed that you gained weight. Oh, geez.
yeah, and nobody ever likes that. So, is it cheating though if you use the Ozempic?
I'm so weird with that
and it
stuff.
is intended for
If
people.
it works for people, great. I mean,
I
you just don't know what the consequences are. It's
Yep.
like a lot of people got fit and muscular on, various
HCG.
steroids and enhancements, and then all of a sudden you see them at 43 and they're having, treatments for cancer. So we don't know. I mean, it's still an unknown. It does seem like it's gotten the approval, certainly of government agencies,
Yeah.
because they're trying to bring the price down so that people can afford it.
Yep.
And
for,
again,
for many people that are like really morbidly obese, obviously they need some kind of
it's
assistance.
not an obesity drug. Its approval is for people with type 2 diabetes,
Yeah.
which
But it's like
technically-
Viagra was, supposed to do something
But
else.
technically, I fit the bill as somebody with diabetes type 2. So I can get a prescription and it might help me. And I was reading some of the research. This is interesting because they're
What if
finding,
you dropped 40 pounds all of a sudden? How cool would that be?
right.
Then what would we do?
They said the other things that
you can
this
keep eating it.
that
It's just-
It would
it's
kill the
your
show,
Appetite.
yeah.
It's your appetite. That's the
a
thing that it
side
does.
effect, not really a side effect, but one thing they're noticing that it's not just curbing people's appetites and allowing them to lose weight and drop their blood sugar levels. It's also curbing their other addictions that people
Oh,
who
gambling, yes.
stop drinking, stop gambling. No, I'm serious. This is like
That's
they're
what I
finding
was contended.
that it
Yes.
suppresses some things, the dopamine
it's dopamine receptors.
receptors, and that it basically
You feel satisfied. You don't have to go look for the thing
right.
that
You don't
satisfies
have to down that fifth bottle of
It'd be good
wine
though
or-
if you shot yourself up right on the show.
you.
We track the results.
I know people have done it and it's worked immensely for them. Because what it does is just control your appetite, and,
Yeah.
and that's actually sort of everything. I'm weird about it because again, what Defo says, I never know if something's doing something good to your body. It's because it's stopping something else. What is it stopping? And why did your body have that before that now it's suddenly okay to not have it? Like that weirds me out a little bit.
Yeah, and-
You should have that song in your head from the past. Lady Willpower. Because that would be the best way to control it.
I
Just
have
tell
the little
yourself.
Jardians jingle in my head. I'm going to start dancing soon. So
I'm, when I'm
Jardians.
walking upstairs and saying, let me see what's in the fridge, I often have that other voice in my head say, what are you doing in there, kid?
Yep.
There's no reason for you to be in here taking cream cheese out of the container with a knife and then sticking that same knife in some jelly and thinking that you're saving yourself some calories. So, it'd be worth a shot. I've seen guys that were doing that somehow got remarkably trim.
Yeah,
That weren't exceedingly overweight, but you're looking at them and thinking, well, I'm doing things to try and lose weight, but this guy managed to master it. And you're immediately thinking, hey, let me see the spots where you put in the Ozempic.
I'm gonna talk to my doctors, and again, because I am already on a type 2 diabetes metformin, which is the old school one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not part of the new school. It curbs your appetite a little, but in my case, it seems like I
not
built up
working
a tolerance.
Yeah. This is tragic, though, pre-Thanksgiving. I mean, we shouldn't
Yeah,
be
no, I
discussing
shouldn't.
these
Why
things.
am I
Come
doing
on,
that?
Yeah.
In
What I
fact,
will
all
say
this talk of
Yeah.
dieting
Everybody's
and
going to be
Ozempic
eating their brains out.
makes me just want to do a big bite because
Go
you
for
did
it.
cut it into a beautiful bite-sized
Did you
portion.
get some hot sauce on
Before we do that, before we take our, I did. I loaded it
Yeah.
up with a little bit of the what do you got? The Cholula.
Yeah.
I like
Cholula
Cholula.
hot sauce.
I actually, I really like Brian's. I hope he still
I
has
don't
it.
think
No,
they have
he
it
no
anymore.
longer is
Remember,
making
he
his
stopped
own.
No, it's great.
Well, I see a couple of hot sauces on there. I can
Yeah.
Yeah, but
play
he didn't
around.
have his the last time. I know Defo liked that. So to
But,
me,
uh,
Cholula
That was
a
a
solid
great hot
one.
sauce.
Before I do the big bite, I want to talk about going from the lows of eating, watching me do a big bite, to the ultimate highs. That would be Casa D'Angelo. They are going to be open throughout the holiday season for holiday parties and all kinds of special events. They're going to have their white truffle dinners coming up at all 3 locations. It's going to be a great time. They've got the Fort Lauderdale flagship at 1201 North Federal Highway. We'll be having truffle dinners on December 5th and December 19th, the Aventura location on December 17th, and the Boca location the previous Sunday, December 10th. And lo and behold, I've just managed to set up a little preview of that white truffle dinner we're going to be visiting with chefs Ricky from Boca and Chef Angelo Massanova at Fort Lauderdale next. I believe it's Wednesday. We're going to do a show there at Casa D'Angelo. And you should get in there sometime over this weekend if you got family in town.
Which location? Now, the original?
We're going to do it at the original Fort Lauderdale. Nice. And again, if somebody is visiting, has never been to the South Florida area, if they want to have a top-notch, top-quality Italian meal, Casa D'Angelo is always the answer. Go online to casa-d-angelo.com to get more information and reservations. All right.
Well, before we go, a person that knows eating above level, a guy who loves his red meat, Evan Darnell, says Wicked is Red Meat Lovers Club approved.
Oh, and speaking of Evan Darnell, that reminds me, the Red Meat Lovers Club is going to be having, and this is one that you're invited to.
Oh, very nice.
At the Delray Beach Boxing Club. They're calling it the Rib Cage number 5 event. But this time, instead of doing ribs, they're going to be doing a meatball competition. And that along with some fights and bouts up there at the Delray Boxing Center. Believe Evan chimes in. It's going to be on Wednesday, January 29th. I hope I have that right. I think I do. For all the information, go online to Red Meat Lovers Club website. That's rmlc.com, Red Meat Lovers Club, or go on to eventbrite.com to get the tickets for that event. Again, it's the Rib Cage Battle, a night of boxing and meatballs and all kinds of fun stuff. And I believe it is on, yes, Wednesday, January 29th. Get your tickets now, Red Meat Lovers Club. All right, with that, let's take another break, but I will
That's not even a big bite for you. That's actually like a standard bite.
Here we go.
If you're not even going to give me credit, then why should I do it?
I'm not telling you to do it.
Right,
I actually root against the big bites. They gross me out. We'll be back after this from Wicked Cheesesteaks and Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligan's, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. It's a little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox at Wicked Cheesesteaks, and I'm just a eating machine at this point. I downed the big bite, finishing up the chicken parm pizza, and I still have not touched the
Have
salad.
your doctors, as you mention them frequently on the show, have they witnessed any video of the big bite?
I was hoping that somebody could maybe
Plausible
do an intervention
deniability.
and maybe send it
Yeah,
to
you
them.
know what really should
I
be done
can.
here, and we missed a great production opportunity. This is 3 years into this thing. I don't know what the archive is for these shows, but if we put together a reel of what has to be you're talking about 1,000 days
We've
minus
done hundreds of shows. and-
28% of that or whatever.
Oh, big
Um,
bites.
We probably would have at least
Those
a
hundreds.
couple of hundred big
Those
bites. No?
hundreds of big bites, yes.
What I'm scared of, because I have
I
to
mean,
go,
imagine putting that all together on a reel.
I know, and I'm going to
I
go for
can't
one of
get rid
these
of it.
scans like in late February, and I'm just afraid that they're going to see all the big bites in
Accumulation of
one big
bites.
ball clogging that one artery. That's the site.
It's like having a bowling ball in there, not just like a little tiny speck of.
we
You know,
removed the tumor, and it was
food. Exactly.
just a
never
big-
mind plaque.
Yes. I do it because I love it, and the food here is all delicious, and all the other places that we go to as well. I think we got to move on to the sports portion of the show because we will not be having a live episode tomorrow, and there's lots of football on the menu besides the turkeys and whatnot. And speaking of turkey, just one thought: if I was president, there would be no more turkey pardons. I would
Oh,
eat
really?
all the turkeys.
Oh, you'd let them all go? Wow.
No, I would eat all
Eat
the
'em
turkeys.
all.
I would
eat them all.
not pardon all of them, except the Canadian
It would be
ones.
like the January 6th people. We can't wait to have those people crawling around the Capitol building again. That'll be great when they get out of
But the
jail.
Canadian turkeys, that are going to slap a 25%
Yeah,
tariff
there
on
you
them
go.
too. All right, football. Anybody looking forward to? We've got the home team, Dolphins, going prime time
Yes.
at Lambeau. It's going to be cold, right?
Yes,
Not that
30s.
bad,
Low
supposedly.
30s, mid 30s.
Yeah.
Mid-30s.
But it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be
No
snowing
rain,
or
no
storming.
snow. So very tolerable for somebody. You're playing football, so that'll get your body warmed up a little bit. It shouldn't be so prohibitive.
You say not that bad, but I think a contest winner, not official show staffer, Jim Snarney, sent a stat earlier that like Tua is 0-4 in weather less than 40 degrees. Do
I saw a
have that?
different number. I don't know what Sonny's looking at. Said he was 4-9 in games under
Yeah,
Four-
because
four- yeah.
Alabama. I mean,
something like that. It wasn't as horrific as people think, but these will be tolerable conditions. If you had it 50 below, like it was in Kansas
Yeah,
City, certainly the Dolphins are compromised in that spot. I think they'll be okay. That's a very, very interesting matchup.
Yep.
Because you have the one team that's supposedly on the ascent and has given evidence that maybe they've found a formula that works. And then the Green Bay Packers at home Thanksgiving Day. They've only played a couple of times, I think, in their history on Thanksgiving. So the fans there will be really enthusiastic about their dismantling of the 49ers last week. Very, very interesting and tough matchup to peg.
Look, the Dolphins are trying to get back to 500, which would be quite a
I mean,
milestone.
doing it this way would be huge.
All right,
I
this-
will
Lubvie
say.
is throwing in the towel on this one.
This
though.
is
I
what
just don't think they're going to win.
this
Yeah.
is.
But
what,
I'm going to watch. I like Mayo saying it's going to be a snooze fest. Like I think it'll be a
Oh,
game.
it should be a great game.
I'm looking forward to the game. I'm just not assuming they're going to win. Like I understand that if the odds are not in their favor with all that can come together, the way this game is going to be played.
This stat is from Jim Sarney. If you want to take it up with the man, he says
He's right here.
Tua has played in 40-degree temperatures or colder 4 times with the Dolphins.
Oh, with the
Miami
Dolphins?
is 0-4 straight up and 1-3 against the spread in those 2 starts.
But with Alabama, I'm
As
sure
a
he
Dolphin.
did it too. So
Yeah.
I would go
I
back
don't
to
know about all
college
that.
now. The pros are different. The cold just hits harder.
Yeah,
in the,
I'm sure.
But we know
pros.
historically, though, the Dolphins have a horrible record
Yeah,
in
they're
these
just
kind of
bad. But, I
conditions.
mean, what do you
Well,
want?
we know that for a
I
fact.
think the other
But then you have to assume also, as Lubvie and I were discussing this morning, that almost all of these games, whether it's 40 or less, have been on the road,
Yeah, it's not
where
here.
you're likely to have a sub 500 record anyway. So I'm not sure what it indicates, but I think the team is just playing well right now. They seem to have found something, and Green Bay's playing a good brand of football as well. So of the games on this slate, I think it's
when
the most
did you turn
attractive
into
one.
Tony Segreto?
Yeah, he's been very positive. I'm actually proud of him.
No, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you're trying to predict the outcome of a game
No,
for
I know
betting
that's
purposes.
silly, right?
Yeah.
But
So
we do it.
I have no emotional involvement in this. I'm trying to figure out which way would I go. Would I take 3.5 points with the Dolphins? And the reason I'm inclined to do that is that I believe that they can play Green Bay close, certainly.
Yes, I agree.
They have a shot to win the game. That's not something you can rule out. So you have 2 out of 3 things that can happen. They either play a close game decided by a field goal in which you win,
Yep.
or they win the game outright, in which you win, in which case you win. And the other thing is I could look like a complete ass, and they could lose by 35 and send everybody back to the conversation that they suck. Yeah.
Sometimes I just like to keep it simple in terms of the handicapping. The Dolphins, their biggest trend in the last 3 seasons is they play well and beat bad teams. And when they go up against winning teams or playoff teams, they don't do well. They're
Horrible.
lose.
Yes, you're bucking
And
a trend here by picking
so
them.
I'm going to say Green Bay at home on a Thanksgiving in the cold weather. Miami according to the local Hard Rock betting app is only getting 3. They're not getting the hook.
The line has been
It's
fluctuating
bouncing.
between 3 and 3.5.
I'm just going to say Green Bay straight up is my play tomorrow. I just think the Dolphins are not good enough. They're just not strong enough, darn it. And I'm gonna
Will
go
you
against.
will you crack an egg over your face on Monday's show?
Oh,
if the
yeah.
Dolphins
Friday.
You're
win?
We're
wrong.
doing a show Friday.
Friday,
my friend.
okay. Oh, that's
We're
right.
at Gulfstream.
Yeah, but
You
you're not
think
gonna
you
be
can get a
doing
raw
that.
egg from Joe Beja?
I think Joe Beja will get
doing that
raw
at
sushi,
Gulfstream?
raw
Oh,
eggs, anything raw that I
That would
want
be a
to
classic.
put on my face. Again, I'm going straight up.
You're so definitive about this.
No,
though.
he's
I mean,
a-
you're adamant.
It's funny. He's definitive this way, and Andy assumes they're going to win. Like Andy's betting on
Andy
them.
assumes the Dolphins are
Yes,
going to win.
assume that he says when they win.
What
He's used the
Dolphin
term when
team
they
has he
win.
been watching? I know Green
Well, they
Bay's
played
been,
better. Look, here's the deal. And the one thing I will say again, it's why I think trends are stupid. Because, and I love Mark Lawrence, and Mark Lawrence would go into the trends where it made sense, and the trends would actually relate to the team itself. So I got it, and he was very successful with it. My problem is the Dolphins we saw the last 2.5 years are not like the way they're playing now is the way I begged Mike McDaniel to play for 2.5 years. They're running the ball more. They're keeping it underneath. They're having sustained drives. They're great on third down. They're great in the fourth quarter. The offense is finding a way to finish games. The defense, as bad as it's been, is finding a way to finish games. So, again, it's bad teams, but they did that versus bad teams before, too.
all right. I'm going to
So,
give this a mark.
I still think I agree with you, but I can see why people like Andy and even what Defo is saying, they are playing a different brand of football the last 3 weeks than we saw for the last 2.5 years.
May I give this a Mark Lawrence title? You know how he likes to
Yes,
put his
yes,
titles on his
title.
angle? My title for this game is don't pick a cold turkey on a cold turkey day. The Dolphins are going to be a cold turkey.
Okay, cool.
You know, he has a way with words, son. You
Yeah.
should have written sports.
It's the one thing I could do.
There you go.
I
There you
eat
go.
and I
eat
could
well.
have a way with words.
I eat, therefore I am. You have a
Um,
variation on that whole thing.
All right, let's take our
Our last
final
break,
break
yeah.
of the day. And I do have to put in just a quick word about Burton's in
Yeah.
Plantation. It's
Oof,
one of
that
two
place is great.
Burton's, a Massachusetts based chain, but it's not really, I mean, you
It's
don't feel
a
like
chain
a
essentially. They have
chain.
more than one restaurant, but it
And-
doesn't feel like a chain.
They do a great job. They give their local people some discretion to bring in specials, whether it's a good fresh fish. They have a great gluten-free menu. They are so sensitive to everybody's, if you have allergies or gluten sensitivities. Again, they're family friendly. All the things that some other places that reminds me of are
Similar.
not. This guy, sophisticated American food. They're open for lunch, dinner, and brunch. They are closed tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, but then they're going to be open for the rest of the holiday season, except Christmas Day. But they are great place. 1003 South University Drive in Plantation, and it is the short rib grilled cheese is a real. I just love that. And then they brought out some of these vegetarian dishes.
Yep.
The beet tower was wonderful. Go check it out. Tell them the lunchbox. sent
Very
you.
kid friendly too. They actually have a very extensive kids menu as well. So
And
give for the family this weekend as you don't want to cook and you just want to get out and enjoy some
gift
great
cards,
weather and great food.
gift cards for the holiday, private rooms for holiday parties. Go online to burtonsgrill.com for more information and reservations. All right, let's take that final break, and then
Yes,
we'll
sir.
wrap this puppy up and get ready for our turkey.
I might wrap up that Greek salad.
That's
too.
all yours. That has
I
Defo's
got
name
my
on
eyes on that, Mayo. I'm glad you didn't touch it.
it. From Wicked Cheesesteaks.
What are the odds on that?
Where
Me
they do have
not
salads
touching a
too.
salad.
He did have a bite of a wedge salad before I went flying.
Exactly.
There at that new place.
Name
What
of
is it?
Lunchbox.
Daniel's? Is that the
Yeah,
name of the place?
Daniel's, a
Yeah.
Florida steakhouse right
Yeah.
there on the South Federal in Fort Lauderdale. Nice.
Back
nice
after
place.
this.
From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hour 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. Wicked Cheesesteaks, 4824 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of Commercial Boulevard, just across from Holy Cross Hospital, where both Jim Sarney and Defo have had stays.
It's a long way away
last
from
year.
that whole fiasco. Wow.
Well, they both
A
treated their stays
misdiagnosed
differently.
Aren't we
disease.
thankful that we still all
Yes.
have all our toes and fingers?
Yes, yes. Oh, thank
Man.
God. That could
Achilles
end
healed up.
very-
I finally played some tennis. It's fine, although, yeah, the different movement definitely represents a change, and my knees are barking at me.
Yep.
Once again, after trying a little run on the tennis courts the other night.
All right. Well,
But I'll get used to it.
that's it. Well, that's going to do it for today.
Being able to absorb
if-
pain is a key, especially if you're going to eat a lot of food
Especially,
like this.
especially
Yeah,
you're going to be old. If you're going to
So,
get
so what's the
old,
over-under on the number of meals now? You're going to be at the buffet. Joe
Wait, so you're
Beja,
saying you're going to eat nothing
you're
at Gulf Street?
going
Not
to a
gonna eat
thing
at Gulf
with...
Street.
You're going to eat nothing. You're going to
Nothing
be
at
at the
Gulf
buffet with
Right.
Brad, who's eating.
There's no way
and
you
you're
don't have
gonna
a
eat
slice of
nothing.
something.
maybe I'll have a pastry.
Maybe a
So
pastry.
you're
Of course,
already-
you'll go right
you're
to the
already-
desserts. Yeah, unbelievable.
Maybe a pastry. The same way I said
Subliminally,
I
you
wasn't going to
can't do
bet
it.
on a horse race after the Breeders' Cup
Exactly.
until the
Yeah.
new year. And then when we were out there last
You're
weekend, I went
pounding last
cashing
week.
tickets with Val's niece. And it's like, I thought you weren't betting. I was like, I lied.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Typical.
never gamble again.
Till tonight.
Meanwhile, if you could describe the remnants on my plate now.
Oh,
Almost ate
that's
it.
a decent job by you.
I mean,
your
I got
food
it.
This
today.
represents some, thing of reform on your part.
You ate your
it's all
food.
going to
Yeah.
fall down, but there's like a pizza crust.
No,
There's
you
a
ate your
little
food.
bit of a bun.
Mine
with
is
a-
worse. Yeah,
There's a pile
Yeah,
of
Devo
ketchup,
actually has more of a kid's plate than you
yeah
today.
no, I got the kids' plate
crumpled
today.
up foil ball. You know what I said? What we should do next week is Art Basel week. Me and you take these plates,
Oh,
Throw
take
it
it
on
to
a
a
glue
wall.
the items onto the plate,
Just
then
That
nail the
is kind
plate
of
to a
artistic.
wall,
Yeah.
and see how much we can get for it.
Hey, what kind of person though really paid $6 million for this thing?
I
It
love
just
the banana
resold.
one.
I would settle for $100 grand.
The
for this
banana
plate.
taped to the wall is my favorite one because
Yeah,
there's
but-
nothing.
Well,
Don't
how
you
often
think
do you
this
have to
would
change
be-
the banana though?
That's true.
I mean, if you have to put a new banana in there every 5 days, then where's the art?
This is okay. I want to glue all this on with acrylic. I want to nail it to a wall. I want to have a little card that says the title of this piece is Lunchbox Detritus Mixed Media. That's
Well, I think it would be a winner there. I mean, you're hoping DiCaprio blows by it.
Exactly.
He's high on
rich
something
in
and
his
got
eye.
his arm wrapped around a 20-year-old model and says to impress her, "Hey, I'm buying that."
I think we're onto something, Defo.
You're onto something.
I told you my
You're on
example. I don't know
something.
why no one's done it. I'm afraid that somebody will steal this idea and make a fortune on it. But we want to stick a palm tree in a toilet bowl and call it life.
That's it.
That's life.
I think,
Life
I
in South
think it's
Florida.
amazing.
Because you're growing something out of
Garbage.
something that literally
How about mine would be
It's
an
sewage.
insurance company or auto dealership with a check and a consumer trying to reach up to
Yeah.
get it. These
Did
guys
the
don't
GM
want to
get back to you since you came on the show?
So
I mean,
here's the thing. I
they
left
already
my
had sent you a
messages
text?
at about 12 o'clock, and I said, call me by the end of the day. If not,
by the
I'm
end of
going-
business today.
by the end of business today.
Nice.
If I do not hear from these people, I'm going straight to the Attorney General. I don't know whether Florida
Pam
or
Bondi.
Pam Bondi,
Bondi.
the United
Bondi.
States. I'm going to be
She'll get your
taking
money.
names and out for. All I want to know is where's my money. I want my
Yeah.
money, and apparently
Call your buddy Roger Stone. He'll get it for you.
that's it.
He's going to be empowered again.
He knows people. All right, we're taking the day off tomorrow. We are going to air a replay of the
Eddie and
lovely
Vinny.
show that we did last week with
It was
Eddie Pizzoli at the upcoming new Eddie and Vinny's. If you're bored and want to get away from your
That was a lot of fun.
family, we'll be replaying that tomorrow. But we will be live with a Black Friday edition from Gulfstream Park. As they
Let's hope
have.
it's not a Black Friday
Yeah.
at Gulfstream
I
Park.
want to be in the red. I want to be in the red. No, wait.
No, you
red
want to
is-
be in the Black.
I want to be in
wanna
the black. I
be
don't want
in
it
the
to be a
black.
Black
That's right.
Friday.
Okay, yeah,
you
you're right.
confused me.
Correction.
Black Friday would be perfect.
You want a Black Friday.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
be with Joe Beja at 10 Palms. And again, Champions Meet starts tomorrow.
You know,
So
Beja might out you though, and let the audience know that you did scarf everything that was on the
Exactly.
buffet, and that you
Yeah.
actually took a doggy bag.
I'm willing. Okay, so we got two things. Joe can rat me out, and I could crack eggs and all manner of things on
The
my
Dolphins win.
face.
Well,
if
you're
the
so
Dolphins
adamant
win.
that the Dolphins. You're,
Come on,
you're
Vince.
very anti-Dolphin.
Prove me
to begin
wrong.
with.
Prove him wrong.
There are
Let
some
him
games
crack
where
an
I
egg.
hedge and I say I don't want to touch it.
Very rarely.
This game, I am certain. I think Green Bay is going to pulverize the
You,
Dolphins.
you were like Lubvie
Crush
and I,
our
where we
hopes and
secretly
dreams.
had to root against all of the local teams because it made for an easier show to do.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy
Happy
your
Thanksgiving, everyone. Be
Thanksgiving,
safe, please.
everybody. Stay safe. Drive safely, and enjoy every sandwich.
Lord, what's next is the question.